Well, hello everyone, and thank you so much for your interest in the Citruslabs Research Grant. We are very happy that you're here with us today. And this webinar is about, our research grant that we are launching right after this webinar. My name is Susanne Mitschke. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Citruslabs, and I'm here with our marketing manager, Ben Brockman, who will help me at the end with some of the Q&A part. And first things first, if you have any questions, please put them into the Q&A box of Zoom, and we will make sure to answer all of your questions at the end of this webinar. Quick agenda. Uh, I will first give you a brief intro to Citruslabs. We'll introduce the grant, what it covers, and we'll talk a little bit about the selection process. And then we go through what a standout application looks like. And of course, there will be some time for some Q&A as well. Again, my name is Susanne Mitschke. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Citruslabs, and my background is in clinical trials and research. I hold a Master of Public Health with a focus on epidemiology and biostatistics from Harvard School of Public Health, and I worked in the FDA field before Citruslabs and was involved in drug research. And many of my friends started brands and asked me about how to run clinical studies for their products, what to measure, what a healthy budget is. So I decided to make a business out of it, and Citruslabs was born. And Citruslabs is now the leading provider in decentralized clinical trials for consumer brands, and we are proudly serving supplements, cosmetics, pet health, functional foods, health apps, biotech, and anything else, frankly, that is health and wellness related. Our clients are typically conducting these studies with us because they want to create product claims, but some are also interested in making their formulations better or understanding the effect of their products a little bit better. And we have worked with hundreds of brands and conducted and completed hundreds of clinical trials. Can be pilot studies, large double-blind placebo-controlled studies, crossover studies, or even consumer perception studies as well. And at Citruslabs, we've spent years working alongside incredible health and wellness brands, helping them validate their products with evidence-based research. And something we've noticed time and time again is that many of the most innovative and impactful ideas come from emerging brands. But we also know how tough it can be, especially as an emerging brand, to take that next step and back your product with specific, product claims with research, and especially when budgets are tight and the cost of a clinical study feels out of reach. And this is why we created the Citruslabs Grant. For our earlier class, the spring class of 2025, our first grant ever, we had two categories. We had supplements and functional foods, and then we had skincare. And our winners were Womeness, a prominent women's health brand. Another winner was also Renewed by Science, a prominent longevity brand. Then we also got an award to Shula Herbs, Nishi, Go Beauty, and Clean Maple. And now a little bit about the grant, why you're all here. Our goal with this grant program is simple. We want to remove financial barriers to clinical research and give brands the tools they need to stand out with credibility and transparency. And this grant is specifically designed for health and wellness brands who are ready to prove that their product works and want to drive meaningful innovation in their field. So how does it work? The grant provides financial support for running your clinical study with Citruslabs, and that includes study design, IRB, which is an ethics committee, participant recruitment, data collection, data analysis, and final report. And we handle the entire research side, so you can focus on what you do best, building a brand. And for us, it's all about making clinical research accessible, impactful, and also tailored to your goals. The grant covers up to 30% of the research costs. And now, who is this grant for? We are prioritizing brands working in areas we feel are very important, but often underfunded. For example, women's health, longevity, mental health, sleep, also new skincare frontiers, or pet health innovation. But even if your focus is outside of these categories, we encourage you to apply. We are rightly looking for brands that align with our mission of creating evidence backed and trustworthy products. Now, let's talk a little bit about who is eligible for the Citruslabs grant. We've designed this program specifically to support brands that align with our mission. And your brand should be small to medium-sized health and wellness brand. It is tailored for emerging brands, companies that are eager to make a big impact but might not have access to the resources that larger organizations have. Whether you're just starting out or are in your growth stage, this grant is here to help you take that critical next step. Your brand must be open to evidence-based product claims, of course. We are very passionate about helping brands validate their product claims through rigorous clinical research, clinical trials. And to qualify, you need to be ready to, embrace transparency, let the data speak for itself. And, evidence-based claims not only build trust, but also set your brand apart, in the health and wellness space. And the study also must be conducted in the United States to ensure the highest quality and compliance with our processes. We require that all grant-supported studies take place within the US, and this allows us to leverage our extensive network and ensure that your study meets both ethical and operational gold standards. And again, while we encourage, applications from all health and wellness brands, we are very excited to support, women's health, mental health, sleep, pet health, longevity, biotech, and even like innovation in skincare and cosmetics as well. And I forgot to click on the next slide. This is the slide to it. Great. So let's quickly talk about how to craft a standout application. So this is your chance to showcase your brand, your product, and your vision in a way that captures also our attention. And first, highlight your product's uniqueness. What sets your product apart? Why does it deserve this grant? Be sure to tell us what makes your product special, whether it's a novel ingredient, an innovative delivery method, or a unique problem it solves. And this is your opportunity to show us why your product matters. Then you should also demonstrate clear research goals and expected outcomes. Your application should outline what you hope to achieve with a clinical study or even with a perception study. Are you validating a specific product claim? Do you want to explore a new use for your product? Be specific about your outcomes, the outcomes you're aiming for, and why these outcomes are also important for your brand's success. Then outline how your study will contribute to your brand's growth. We want to understand how this research fits into your bigger picture. How will the study results impact your marketing, your product development, customer engagement, and then also explain your commitment to advancing, health solutions. Explain how, your mission is to bring evidence-backed health-focused solutions to consumers. And then also very important is, how you are using this data. So if you have any existing research, for example, consumer feedback or sales data, that you already have, right, outside of a clinical trial, you can absolutely include it. And these details can strengthen your application by showing us that you already, put thought and effort into your product's development, your product success. And then finally, just keep the application still concise, focused, and quality quality beats quantity. Focus on the key points that matter most. A clear, concise, well-structured application makes it easy for us to see your vision and also understand your brand's potential as well. And that is mostly it. Are there any questions? Again, there's the Q&A box in the chat.
I have a few over here, Suzanne, that we could go through.
Yes, please.
Awesome. Great. So yeah, the first one, I know we spoke about, small to medium-sized businesses. This question revolves around, are early stage brands at a disadvantage to compared to those that are already established when
I
applying?
think, yeah, I think early stage brands actually at an advantage. So we would actually prefer to give grants to smaller brands versus bigger brands. And especially, when you think about criteria, if you already raised, tens of millions of dollars, maybe it's not the best fit.
Yep, perfect. Awesome. And do the brands need, when they're applying, do they need clinical data already? Or is the grant designed for brands that are kind of just like still in, pre-launch or about to launch type of stage?
So brands don't need data. Um, if it's pre-launch, that's great. If you have some data, that's also fantastic. But data is not needed. We just want to hear, a story why you want to do that research now.
Awesome. Let's see. And then if people, or let's do this one. What does the timeline look like from application to announcing the winners?
That's a good question. And maybe you can help me, Ben. I think the application opens after this. We actually have a QR code here that you can scan, and that gets you right to the application page. And then when is the deadline?
Yeah, so the applications will open today and they will close on October 8th. And then from the 8th to the 15th, our team's going to be reviewing all the applications and then we will be announcing the winners October 15th.
Great. So very soon.
Yeah, very soon. Awesome. Let's see what else we have here. Are there any common mistakes when going through the application that people should avoid?
That's a good question. I think if it's too convoluted with things that don't really matter, um, you know, um, that it's not a red flag, but it just makes it harder for us to go through an application. Um, and then not having a clear goal of what your research is, what you want out of the research, right? So the best thing you can do is tell us why you want to do research and what you want to get out of it. Even if it's specific product claims, just list those product claims.
Awesome. Perfect. And let's see. What is Citruslabs' expectation of when a study or trial would begin once the applications close?
It would actually begin still this year.
Perfect. So they'd have to start it within 2025, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Perfect. Awesome. Let's see. And then maybe if we could go, I know we talked about, up to 30% for the grant covering costs, but how many winners will there be exactly? And then kind of diving into like how we're selecting.
Um, It's a very interesting question. So, how we are selecting, obviously, it's somewhat subjective, right? Um, Last time we had a lot of applicants, and we choose applicants that we were excited about, um, mostly in two categories: supplements, functional foods, as well as skincare. Um, and on the supplement front in particular, I'm personally very excited about women's health and longevity. So our winners were in that category, right? Womaness, and Renew by Science, and then Shula Herbs. Um, it's a great brand in the mental health field, which the team also felt very strongly about, giving a grant to.
Perfect. Um, and then yeah, diving into a little bit of study design. So how do we decide which study design is best for, the brand that wins a grant?
I think it's about the goals, right?
Hmm.
But also if you have a study design in mind, add it to your application. If you don't know anything about study designs or what study design to pick, we also have a study design navigator, which is I think baked in to this application form as well. We can go through. Um, and then, it asks you a couple of questions, and based on your answers, it then picks the best study design for you.
Awesome. And let's see. Yeah, this is a good one around. Obviously, what do the winners actually receive beyond, the research grant, whether it's like PR, social media exposure, stuff like that after they wrap up the study?
That's a good question, and maybe Ben, you can help me in answering it.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, once the winners are chosen, obviously, we'll help you set up the study and run it. And then once your study concludes, we'll have a whole social media campaign with all our winners. We'll be including it in email blasts, putting it on our website on our tested product pages, and yeah, also including social media posts. Let's see what else. Okay, so obviously this is our fall class of the grant, and this question revolved around can previous applicants reapply and do past winners get preference?
So past applicants can reapply, especially if you have not been successful. If you already received a grant, we would probably give the grant to someone else.
Perfect. Mm-mm-mm. And then one other kind of smaller one around how much does like a brand's social media presence or their community engagement weigh into the decision of picking a winner?
From my perspective, not a ton, right? We really want to see the impact of the research on areas that are traditionally underfunded. So if you have a strong social media following, that's great, but it will not make or break your application if you don't have it.
Perfect. Yeah, a few of these ones we've already covered. So yeah, if anyone has any last minute Q&A questions, if you could please drop them in the chat. But I think that
Oh,
covers most of what I had.
great. Well, let's give people maybe one more minute. And otherwise, I'm thanking all of you for joining us today. And we can't wait to review your applications. If you have any questions in the meantime, oh, is there another question? There
What?
is no the cash limit, right? There is no real
Mhm.
cash limit to the grant. We have our specific tiers, and then based on that, you will get awarded a percentage of your study that we will cover. All right. So if there are any other questions um, that we did not go over, feel free to reach out to us at hello@citruslabs.com. Yeah, scan the QR code to go directly to the application website. And otherwise, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.